Hello, Impact Weather Meteorologist Chris Hebert with an outlook for the month of August across southeast Texas. As we look back at July temperatures, well below normal for much of July across the Houston area, as low as 81 degrees on a couple of days here. Average temperatures about 3 degrees below normal, typical highs in the 93, 94, and 95 degree range across the month of July. We were well below that this month. What about August? Average temperatures around 95 degrees, dropping to about 93 degrees toward the end of the month. I think we'll be below normal in August as well. Temperatures probably averaging around 92 to 95 degrees for highs through much of the month, which will be a little bit below normal, maybe a degree or so below normal. As far as rainfall, we've had a very wet past 30 days. This red area indicates amounts of 7 inches or greater from central Mississippi down to the middle Texas coast. The purple areas here are 14 inches or greater, and some of those purple areas extend across northwestern and northern Harris County. We've had a very wet past 30 days across southeast Texas and the Gulf Coast. I think that the wet is going to continue into the month of August with high pressure. Remember that high pressure last August was situated right about over Texas and Louisiana. That's why we had all those 100-plus degree days. I don't think we're going to see any 100-degree days this coming August. And with that high up to the north, that leaves the Gulf Coast open for continued daily rounds of showers and thunderstorms. So I think we'll have a little bit wetter than normal August across southeast Texas as well. What does a wet July mean as far as potential tropical cyclone impact along the Gulf Coast? Well, we look back at some of the wettest Julys in history across the Houston area and some of the driest Julys just to compare. Is there any indication that a wet July might signal a better chance of a hurricane impact? Let's take a look. The wettest Julys here are in blue, the driest Julys are in red. As far as tropical storm impacts across southeast Texas and across the Texas and Louisiana coast in the following August, September, and October, not a whole lot of difference. A little bit more chance of a tropical storm impact in Texas and Louisiana during the wetter July periods or following the wetter July periods. As far as the hurricane impact, I think we can see a significant difference arising here. In 11 of the 20 wettest Julys, the Texas or Louisiana coast was hit by a hurricane. That's about 55% of the cases versus only about 4 of those drier 20 years in which we had about 20% chance of a hurricane impact. As far as major hurricane impact, category 3, 4, and 5, in about 8 of the wet Julys, about 40% of the time, a major hurricane did indeed strike the Texas or Louisiana coast. And only in about 0% of the time was a major hurricane striking the Texas or Louisiana coast following a very dry July. Last year was very dry. We didn't have, of course, any hurricane impacts along the Texas and Louisiana coast last year. We did have Tropical Storm Don and Tropical Storm Lee, but no hurricane impact. So what does this mean? Well, it doesn't mean we're definitely going to be seeing a hurricane impact on Texas and the Louisiana coast this coming August or September, but I do think that given the wet conditions along the coast, that the Gulf Coast is certainly open for business as far as a potential hurricane impact over the next month or two as we move into the peak of hurricane season. We'll have to keep our eyes out on the tropics because any development might occur very close to home, perhaps even in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, that's a look at the upcoming month. I'm Impact Weather Meteorologist Chris Hebert. Thanks for viewing.